Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, as artificial intelligence in the form of ChatGPT and similar arrived on South African shores, the newly accessible technology rapidly started making waves in workplaces throughout the country, with uncertainty about its challenges and opportunities at various levels of an organization infiltrating discussion daily. While companies are at this stage still considering how they can harness AI to improve processes, productivity, and the bottom line, there is, however, real concern among employees about what this change might mean for their career prospects. Advaita Naidoo is Africa MD at Jackhammer Global, joins us on Zoom to tell us more about how AI will lead to attrition of certain jobs going forward. Advaita, a very good morning to you. A warm welcome to Morning Live. I mean, let's start with how do I, grow my career in artificial intelligence?
So I think, Lebo, it's a foregone conclusion that digital technology and AI are going to replace some manual and repetitive jobs, as has been the case with every industrial revolution the world has seen. But according to the World Economic Forum, technology is going to displace 85 million jobs globally, but create 97 million new ones. So I think that's the first bit of positive information. There are going to be new jobs coming, and it's going to enhance skilled positions and allow employees to be more efficient and productive. So if you think about what that means for us, the reality is that AI has been here for a long time. It's just a bit more accessible now. Previously, it was under lock and key. It was IP of companies. It was the domain of highly technical people. And now it's got this really beautiful, usable interface, and it's the way you and I speak. And the access has been democratized now. So as humans, what can we do to enhance what we have? And it's all about productivity hacks. We can use it to write reports. We can use it to do data analysis. It's trained to spot patterns in data. We can use it to short circuit the desk research process. For anyone who's found themselves working extra long hours these days, it's this productivity enhancement that's going to give you more breathing room in your tight schedule and allow you to be more creative elsewhere.
And I mean, what are the future prospects of artificial intelligence?
So I think when you think about what it means, it allows us as humans to be more creative. We'll never be able to compete with machines on quantity or speed, but we can compete on quality and fresh ideas. So for artificial intelligence, there's going to be enhanced productivity and ultimately reduced costs for businesses. There's going to be consistency. And so businesses are prone or are going to adopt these kinds of technologies. They are going to take place and replace, as I said, some manual and repetitive jobs. But as humans, we don't need to be afraid of what the machines are going to do. There is still a place for us in this world.
I mean, you said there's a place for us here, but which skill, though, is very essential in future for AI jobs?
For people to work on AI jobs?
Like artificial intelligence, careers, if there's something like that we can speak of.
So I think there have been new jobs that have come as a result of the development of this technology. There's something called a prompt engineer, which is somebody who creates the prompts that are required for an AI model to perform a task. But I think as humans, as the people who are sitting here in our office jobs, we're not all the innovators. It's hard for us to anticipate how our roles are going to change. But the worst thing we can do is to ignore the technology or actively work against it because we're afraid of being out-automated. What we should rather be doing is playing around with it and trying to incorporate it into our jobs. Again, as I said, using it to short-circuit processes and manual processes that we already do and free ourselves up to be more creative elsewhere. At the end of the day, AI is here to augment human intelligence. It's not here to replace it. So now's the time to work on those attributes that machines can never replicate. It's the empathy, it's the communication skills, it's the creative problem solving, understanding context and culture. Obviously in South Africa, that's so important. And these are the things that still require deep humanity, which is why humans will never be obsolete. Just in terms of the jobs that are going to be created as a result of AI, it's anything that is used to harness the technology that exists.
And do you think that's where the resistance comes in? Because automatically people assume that it's going to replace humans.
Absolutely. I think that has as has probably been the case with every single industrial revolution, with the mechanization of agriculture, or when the internet became, there was democratized access to the internet, there is fear. Change management is a process. People are afraid that they are going to be replaced. And again, some repetitive and manual jobs will be replaced, but what we should be doing is harnessing the technology and trying to make it work for us and trying to incorporate it into what we already do.
Mm-hmm. And in South Africa particularly, how soon can we, at what speed are we moving?
Look, as I said, there are already companies that have adopted some of.
Advaita, can you hear me? Oh, I think load shedding played a huge role there in us losing Advaita.
It's store clustering and things like that. Things like that are already being done. It's taken out the human element. And I think anyone who's ever tried to run a query on some sort of AI knows that it returns very structured information. But it's so formulaic and very general. So we really need to be able to adapt it for our specific situation to make it relevant for us. And again, that still requires expertise and human intervention and knowledge of the context in which we operate.
All right, apologies, Advaita. I'm going to ask you to repeat that answer again because we lost you, the first few seconds of that answer. Can I ask you to repeat that for our viewers, please?
Sure. I was saying that, in many contexts in retail, supply chain and logistics have already been impacted by the use of AI in many instances. But in a lot of cases, it still requires a human intervention and understanding of the context and human expertise to know how to best apply what the AI is returning. Anyone who's tried a query on ChatGPT or similar knows that it returns very structured information, but it's very formulaic and it's very general. And we need to be able to apply it to our context to know what will work for our situation.
And what does work for our situation?
Well, again, it's the human context. Again, if you try a query and it's so formulaic and it's so dry to read, we can use it as a framework, but the human is needed to inject some flair and to make it more interesting, to make it more compelling. The AI will give us something digestible. Human needs to make it more palatable. And again, in South Africa, the cultural context in which we live is ever evolving, and the AI can't understand context and it can't be empathetic and it doesn't have the communication skills. So for our context, harnessing the humanity of what we offer is really going to work.
Right. Advaita, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. And by continuously upskilling and reskilling and embracing AI, artificial intelligence, individuals can ensure that their jobs remain secure in the age of AI. And we just had a conversation with Advaita Naidoo, and she's Africa MD at Jackhammer Global. Let's take a quick ad break. We're back after this. We talk all things food with the founder of an unorthodox restaurant, event caterer, and recipe creator, Chef Phil.